Buddy, uh, welcome to a Saturday at John's. I don't know what we're going to do today. Nothing's planned as always. When you get on, let me know if the chat is working or if the sound is on.
And we'll start off by making some noise.
Doing one. Hey, Alexander. Ow, ow, ow. Dan says the sound is good.
Good.
Dan, you better be standing next to the bench. Standing. Ow, 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 ow.
Better get some gloves.
Hey, tell Dan the difference between Sig dope, Brodak dope, and Randolph dope.
Night and day. Night and day. Randolph, by all means, covers much, much better than any of them. Now, I can't say much about Sig. Light coat clear is pretty good stuff, and is probably more fuel resistant than Brodak crystal clear is. But I think Randolph's better than any of them by all means. It's just one coat white, especially if you do the tinted clear from the ground up. You definitely do.
I was over Dan's and we were putting some clear on his. He's got a Casminato Blue Max. And this clear is like water. It has no body to it at all. I poured half a quart, I did the regular thing. And painted it, and it's all sucked up before the half a quart.
Yeah.
There was no way to do his airplane in a half a quart.
I've gotten it like that from Brodak before. I hate to say it, but I've gotten colors from Brodak where it made me guess or want to guess, did somebody have this and send it back because they didn't like it and poured out half the paint, put thinner in it, and put it back in the jar. And it was so thin that it made me wonder where I think you better quality control Randolph probably. I just think that's probably going to be a fact. But yeah, this Randolph, you'll definitely get a much better paint.
It's all made by the same people.
Yeah, but when you got a proprietary substance, you don't know what Brodak's told him to do, because he does something, he makes him do something different to make it his own entity. So.
Well, I'm talking about Sig Clear. He was using Sig.
He was using Sig?
And that's certified.
I don't know. So I've never had a problem with Sig in the past, but.
Well, it ain't like what I'm used to using.
I don't know, certified. Since I started using that, I don't think I'll ever go back. Now, I don't mind using some Sig colors. Just you can mix Brodak and Sig and Randolph all together. Just use the same thinner. Just make sure you always use the same thinner in all of it from the ground up.
Just don't use aircloth.
Yeah, don't use aircloth. No, heaven forbid. So.
Yeah, this videography is on my phone, on an LG phone with a lavalier mic on a boom. Pretty Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, it's not the most best setup in the world.
John's bird took off for the gnats yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, he decided he wanted to go free. Bless his little heart. Got out. Might just barely be able to make that work.
Thought you're gonna make a new one.
I got two of these. Easy. No, there's a lot of this stuff on here that I'm trying to reuse from stuff that I got left over. Or other, I can't, maybe not exactly left over, but stuff that I did for other models that.
Yeah, Craig Vic
Yeah.
Biswick is the guy who sent me the sandpaper. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Was he? Craig, good deal. Craig's a good guy.
It just showed up at work and I said, hey man, I must have made an order I forgot about. I need to get some dope on that. And sell some dope, man.
Yeah, like when we went in the hobby shop.
Yeah.
Went into the hobby shop and Sparky said, "You got any dope?" The guy looks at him and said, "No, we don't sell that stuff here, but the house down the road does." He was serious. And his wife had to come up and say, "No, the guy's talking about paint over here."
Young kid.
He really thought he was serious.
Yeah, from now on, next airplane's gonna be a foam leading edge. I'm tired of the Star Horse. Yeah, I'll give up a little on the weight, but
We'll just have to make it better somewhere else.
you see the Joe Daly and Model Aviation, his fuselage out of 12-pound wood.
No, I didn't.
You got Model Aviation?
I've got it, but I haven't looked at it. Not the last edition of it. I haven't even opened it out of the package.
Fuselage weighed 5 ounces out of 12-ounce wood, or 12-pound wood.
You use all 16th-inch wood?
I don't know, probably the Bob Hunt 332nd method, like Dan's trying to do.
Good luck.
Came over today and the sun set this down in the garage. And the sun caught the leading edge. And there's some like facets in this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this paper and we're gonna roll over it I'm gonna hash mark it, so to speak. And try to get those facets out. It'll never all come out, but you know, part of this model building that we're doing when we're finishing is painting without paint. You got to really look at everything really close.
Not easy. Certainly easy.
It was easy, everybody do it. I see Ted Fancher has written about the 0-ounce stunner.
Yes, gaining some attention. People are talking about that. I can't remember who it was, but Bob Hunt used to say, I think it was Bob Hunt, used to say, you know, everybody's on a quest for the lightest stunner in the world, and it's never happened. Or a stunt plane that's too light.
Yeah, you can't make it too light.
You can't make it too light. It's not possible. Now, taken for granted, there may be some planes that might fly with a little heavier
Yeah, we'll add 6 ounces of CG.
wing loading, but I mean, that's in the wind. Might not get bounced around as much, but
Starting to pull the paper up there.
if you sit there and you watch somebody fly a whole pattern upwind, and the only reason why they did it is because their airplane was overpowered and super light. I mean, for those conditions when the wind is whipping around all different directions and you're out trying to, get in some practice or get.
You talking about my flight at SIG?
At Brodeck.
Oh yeah, Brodak.
And it was definitely all upwind. I was standing right there by the circles.
You ain't gonna do that with a heavy airplane.
No, I wouldn't try it with mine, that's for sure. What would be the chances that I'd find a push rod that was pre-made from an older airplane that would fit that?
Probably pretty good, really.
Well, let's too long. I know this one's too short.
Take the long one and, well, that might work. No. That'd be perfect.
Not screwed in there very far at all. It might be a little longer than these.
It'd be fine.
Did you screw that in anymore?
Yeah.
That looked like it's level-wise on the flaps.
Pretty good. Up a little bit on the flap. Up, up.
Oh, I gotta come up?
Yeah.
Better center down here.
Up a little bit.
It's gotta come up
Yeah.
more? That's good. That's a good thing. That means I get to thread it in farther.
I mean, it ain't much. One or two turns, maybe.
Let's go one on that one. We'll go one on this one. I'm already in there a good 1/4 of an inch. Maybe a little bit more. It's getting pretty tight.
Right there's level.
Right there's level.
Yeah,
Let's see.
that's good.
That means I'm in a little bit too far.
Hey, we got a $50 super chat. Who was that from?
Cool.
Christopher Everson. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Let's see. Is John's other plane painted? Are you kidding me?
No, boys, I got other things on my plate. Sorry about that, but
Yes, these flaps are the ones that have the carbon fiber set up in it. It's probably the best thing that I've seen. My wife would buy that healthy ice cream. I would have to eat twice as much and get the same effect. That's how I feel about the thin dope. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Let's see what this looks like.
Now watch them flaps when he lets them go. Just like, flip.
And that's what the cables wrapped around and run back into the wing. What's that look like?
Down a little bit.
They gotta come down?
Right there.
Damn. Means I gotta unscrew it a little bit. It's pretty close. That'll work.
Hit that like button, guys. That's the way you can support the channel without Super Chat. Or if you like, you can do like Chris did and throw us a tip. Buy us lunch.
One of my new motor mounts I made for us. I think I showed a little bit of this where it's keyed into the maple on the end. 3 layers, 64th plywood, machine aluminum motor mounts. Step down 1/8 of an inch here, which I've heard, especially if you're using plastic RC tanks, that you want to relieve this motor mount and set that tank up in there because they're a little bit too thick to really draw correctly. And even though it's a clunk tank, you still need to move that fuel mass up a little bit, or as much as you can. Well, I want to take off more than 1/8 of an inch on these things, to be honest with you, to move that tank up any more now. And I think that's about all you need. According to Alan Goff, I think that's what he was doing with his, was 1/8 of an inch. But this will get a piece of 3/16 balsa wood on the top of it yet. I won't put that on until I get my blind nuts in here for my motor. So I might do that today. This is a tight fit on a 75, so I'll grind it out a little bit to get some motor offset on it. I like to make it tight to begin with and then grind it out to get the twist in for the offset for the engine. Do that and drill the holes and get that on there, then I can get this 3/16 balsa wood on the top of that. One step closer to starting a fuselage here on this, for this wing.
I need to get on you like I'm on Danny. You need to put this thing on that table over there and whip that white airplane over here and let's tape it up.
Yeah, I got some design ideas in my mind, but we're gonna have to get on the cutter. It's something I don't know. I don't think I would want to try to tape off by hand. Although I did a Coca-Cola RC car, 12 scale RC car back about 1978 or 79. That was all the script on and everything, and that was all hand cut tape backwards because it was done on the inside of a Lexan body. So all the wording had to be done backwards. That was fun. It took a while, but I won concourse with that car, I don't know, 5 or 6 races in a row or 7 weekends in a row till it started getting beat up. You had the thing about RC car racing, no, it's not airplane related, but you couldn't just paint a pretty body and set it down for concourse because they give prizes away for concourse, and you had to run the body that you entered in concourse. You had to run it the whole weekend. You couldn't just run it for a half a race and pull over and take it off. You had to run the thing the whole time. So, to earn those pretty points, had to be a good driver too to take care of your body.
Now I'm going through a Canopy phase here. I had you buy me them big canopies.
Yeah.
And I got this one cut down, but I don't like the looks of it.
Too wide at the top.
It's a big mama.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a 12-incher, 13-incher.
This is a 13 or a 14 cut down.
It's big.
But
you got to realize, I mean, if you're going for that shoestring sort of look and the size of that pilot, I mean, they had sort of.
Or does that one look better?
You got to put your pocket
I don't know where he went. He disappeared.
in your bag, or did I leave him on the table upstairs?
He's probably in my pocket somewhere. Yep. I haven't painted his shirt yet, but there's the hairdo.
Not into metrics, that's the metrics here.
Yeah, that's probably better. His head is closer to the top of the canopy.
Yeah, because they were sort of small airplanes, you know. That pilot just, they wanted them things sort of skinny
Okay,
looking.
look at that one, and
Don't
then
push it down so far.
well, it's got to go down to touch the back. Take this tape off.
That looks pretty good, really.
Does it?
Yeah, it looks more like a race plane, you know, where everything's slimmed down.
This
Almost looks in scale with the cockpit too, because those little shoestring sort of racers were little airplanes.
This is the big one cut down, and this is the small one cut.
Might even look better yet. You still got 3/8 of an inch above his head. Move it forward. Yeah, right there. I think it looks pretty good. Even at that, he's still got a good 1/4 inch.
Well, I'm going to lose an 1/8 because I'm going to have to put a groove in it, you know, around it.
Well, your groove will just go where it's at right now, but it should just go in, shouldn't it? It doesn't really drop it.
It drops it down in the front, drops it in the back.
And maybe a little bit. I'm
1/8.
talking 1/16 of an inch. You only don't have it much to relieve.
Yeah, I guess I'll use that one. Then I'm going to clean it up on the disc sander, see how it.
You need to get your front and back to look right.
Clean
that
up
was
the,
a pretty fast glance at it. It wasn't. open up that sleeve.
Tristle, tassel, tussle, trone. Remember that?
Yeah.
Shoot, I didn't get this right. For all you car and motorcycle guys out there, I watched a video today or yesterday from the EPA. We are in big trouble. They have outlawed all performance exhaust. And I don't mean just outlaw selling it. If you get pulled over, they can give you a ticket and make you remove your performance exhaust from your car. They're going to try to outlaw internal combustion engines by 2030.
Well, you know that they've pretty much gone to all 4-strokes and dirt bikes now.
Yeah, well, I want to know how you're going to drive across country with an electric car. How are you going to fill up?
Not going to. You won't be able to anyway because it'll be stopping at every border to show your papers.
To show your COVID. We cannot stand for this show. Can I see your papers, please?
Sorry, getting a little political there, man. Sorry about that. But
Well, there's gonna come a time when I'm gonna have to not censor myself, or it'll be too late.
Be a free individual. This great world of ours.
If you want to drive to the Nats, you'll have to teleport.
Well, yeah, because you guys cross state line. I can stop you.
It'd take a month to go across country, like covered wagons.
Well, you know those Tesla cars and stuff like that, it takes about 15 hours to charge one back up to full charge.
They only go 300 miles.
Yeah, 250, 300 miles or whatever it is, and then you gotta wait 15 hours. And it costs about $35. I don't know, there's a bunch of YouTube stuff on about a guy trying to get by on the cheap. And he bought a used Tesla, one that's been crashed or something, and he tried to redo it, and Tesla shut him off.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Black guy.
Well, there must be a couple of them, because the one I saw was a white guy, but doesn't matter. Same principle.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
They devoid everything. They shut him off from charge ports. Anything that was a Tesla sponsored charge port, he was shut off from. You know, those computers in those things, they got such power. Better not do that in my hand.
We're gonna need. I don't know. What are we gonna do here?
I'm gonna cut my fingernails off. I just left the fingernail mark in wood.
I'm gonna need to use a tack rag on this to get all this dust out of this thing.
take an air hose up there and blow it out.
$15 and 8. We got 15 watchers and only 8 likes. What's the story,
Come on,
guys?
click a button. Click the button, please.
Maybe I can get enough of this sprayed right here today, so I can do the cockpit at home.
Yeah.
You gotta keep Liz Wheeler. Yeah, the small one looks better. Thank you, Chris. No, John's other plane isn't painted yet.
I'm glad you're all worried about it, but I got other things, other fish to fry.
Well, I know I brought a smoker over here.
Right now.
Right here. Yeah, maybe I get the cockpit painted and I can finish painting my pilot and detail it on and get it glued on back at the apartment. So next weekend, we may get the...
I think I need to make that go down any more.
No. You know how much you use?
About 15 degrees, maybe.
About this much. That's it.
That's good right there anyway, because that's really about...
You want to be a ringmaster with a barn door on the
I
back?
did that one time. I had a ringmaster with, and they moved 90 degrees.
Give it up.
And you could literally almost stop it dead.
Look at that.
Stall right up.
That's way too much.
Yeah, that's probably that's max. That's a panic turn.
You think?
I just like to have a little extra than what you use. So.
Well, you're going to speed up the elevator anyway, right?
Well, yeah, it's going to be 1-to-1 to start off with, but you'll probably end up with more elevator than flat. This airplane's not going to be the lightest airplane in the world. I'll be lucky to bring this in at 64. Which is still light compared to my other plane at 74. 10 ounces difference. That's a big difference. Hey, you ain't got off balance. See, I'm gonna need to make another header
Why?
for that 75.
Same as the cats.
Well, yeah,
We got a couple.
I don't have one for every motor,
You don't.
which I like to have, so you're not swapping out parts all the time. So I got the Pennzoil airplane is a 75 airplane built for a 75 case. The GOXL is a 75 airplane built for a 75 case. I got a 65 that's going to come out of that 75 ounce airplane because I'm going to retire it. And this one I was going to make for the 65.
Well, it's got a header on it.
Where I can make it, well, yeah, it does, but it's the same header.
They're all the same.
But I still want one for every motor. And then if I use a rear exhaust muffler, then I don't need a header.
That muffler's nice.
Yeah. I've heard mixed emotions about those, though. I heard some people saying that they don't flow very good. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I can't attest to that because I haven't seen it with my own.
How much
eyes.
power am I going to need?
These are 40 size airplanes with 75s in them.
Right.
they're 1960s or 70s 40 size airplanes.
Right.
Via 40s or 46s.
All right. I'm going to hold this on here. I want you to take a pen and make a line under the canopy.
You want a pen or a marker? I know how you don't like markers. Get her straight up and down.
You look at it. Look at it. See if you think it's straight.
Turn it back. Get back. Get back. Can you just put one little finger in the top of it? Looks like it needs to go to the inboard side, just ever so slightly. Just here a little bit. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah. That's good right there. No, I don't know if you guys can see this, what I'm doing here. I'm marking this canopy out. We're going to put a trench in this.
Yeah, that's typical. And it didn't right back there in the back.
Yeah.
Damn thing. You got it?
I think so.
I don't want to put a big.
It don't matter. I'm going to cut it.
I know, but I still don't like to dent it. Let me have it back over here. Now, what's this look like? Like this here and here.
About the same. This right here is a little different. Up in front, I think it's probably the way it's sanded.
Could be.
Look at it from the front again. Let's make sure it's straight. Let me get it where it belongs. Oh yeah. That good?
Yeah.
It'd be fine. Not ever gonna get it perfect.
I had a chipmunk. I got one off real bad, and that whole canopy leaning in. You couldn't tell it from the sides, you know. But when you went straight, looked straight down on it, you seen that canopy tilted over like.
Well, that's why his head's leaning.
yeah, he's pushing it over one way.
Let's see if we got any chatters. What is the best starting setup for flap the elevator? 1-to-1.
1-to-1, yeah.
Because most guys are going to build a heavy airplane anyway.
The holes on the flap horn for a 60 size airplane, 1.25 inches.
3/4.
And 3/4, and the elevator horn 3/4. And that's your starting point. And the only thing you're going to change from there is the elevator, and it can go from 3/4 to 1/2 inch. And then you're going to end up about there because you won't go any further than that. And that's
won't.
only in case you got a really light airplane. Light airplanes need more elevator and less flap. So that's the only time you're going to vary from 1 to 1, really. You don't want more flap than elevator. Never.
Yeah, I'd love to be like Bad Chad and put a gallon of super Featherlight primer on this baby.
Yeah, can you see that airplane right there? Can you get that airplane?
I see it already, yeah.
That's a ticket. Ticket, yeah. Yeah, looking at like that.
That thing's bent like this. That one on top.
That's fine. This is the bottom. It might have come off my Takano mold because the turtle deck on the Takano had that. It came, the canopy come down and swooped like this. So all this sunk down, a big swoop in it. And then
This is a Junar bottom right here.
straight.
I can tell.
You think?
Yeah.
These might be, but it might not be.
It won't be after you're done with it, but that's what it is. I mean, same bottom that's on my airplane.
Yeah, that one is. For sure, it really is.
Huh?
It really is the same one because it's. Didn't we mold yours off my mold?
No.
I thought we did one off my molds.
No.
Maybe not. Oh well.
My molds are sitting in the trash can. I got a trash can with a bunch of wood and stuff in it next to the bench. Top mold, bottom mold.
Some of mine I fiberglass, some of them I didn't. I'll tell you what, I've probably got 10 different top and bottom molds for different airplanes and stuff, and they're sort of universal. You can basically, go by how wide to how thick the fuselage is. You got a thin one for 35 size plane and a wider one for 60 size planes, and
Now there's a first. 10 watchers and 12 likes. Hooray! Hooray! We've been on 48 minutes.
now I got that done, I could probably
Let me see one of them Australian scalpels.
make sure everything's
Got to have super sharp scalpel.
was one laying here somewhere. I only made one cut with it, that cut right there.
Okay, now we're gonna do the canopy grooving technique. I'm not gonna use, well, I will stipple it, but so I've drawn a line around the bottom here. I had John hold it or whatever. I'm cutting through the paper into the wood on the line. And this is only 3/32 thick, so you only want to drop it in there about a 1/16 of an inch. So don't make a lot of pressure.
No, it could really make for a bad day in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It makes a really bad day.
I should have been a surgeon. See, as a mechanic, I have to know what I'm doing, but doctors are just practicing. They don't have a clue what they're doing. course, as some of you guys may or may not know, I was a sign painter at one time. I had a lot of jobs in my life, but I was a sign painter and a pinstriper. So I got a pretty good steady hand. Good hand-eye coordination, so to speak. Of course, I was a truck driver at one time too. I let my CDL go though. Because I didn't get the government ID. They can kiss my balls.
I drove some big trucks too. I drove about everything they had in the motor pool in the military. Ow, it's hot.
When you're doing this, a good sharp, super sharp knife is imperative.
I'm gonna have to get some low profile or small profile 440 nuts.
They sell them.
I know they sell them. I just don't have any right now. They're good for this kind of stuff because they're a lot more lightweight than a nylon insert lock nut, and they take up a lot less room. And it's just one little block that drop a blue Loctite, little dab on a toothpick.
I'm surprised they don't sell pinch nuts.
Yeah, they're only good for one time too.
Well, it's all right.
A nylon lock nut's really only good for one time, but you can sort of use them more than that. But they go by military standards. We had some specialized bolts for bombs that we were putting in the service that were really neat things. They had ball bearings made in the ends of them on springs. And man, I tell you, you had to torque them down to about 700 foot-pounds. I used to use a 3-foot torque wrench, about 10 extensions.
Snap on.
And now I have to get in that thing, put my whole body into it. And I just barely get to click.
Okay, I went around that on the line. Now the fun part. You got to come up about 1/8 of an inch and make another line.
Yeah. Very, very carefully.
I just eyeball it. I mean, you could mark it, but there's really not, I don't have a need for it. And when you get to the front, you don't want to come up 1/8 of an inch. You want to come up 1/16 of an inch because front is going to set down in it. It's not going to be sideways, so to speak. About the thickness of the glass, plastic or whatever.
Yeah, hold your breath.
I've got this fiberglass right now.
Oh, that's always fun.
But good sharp knife.
These damn screws in that. Where in the hell they came from?
Yeah, come on.
I cut my fingernails off. That's bigger than anything. I left fingernail marks in that.
Wait, when I was on that other channel and I was giving some advice on how to get the nibs off, talking about carding, the guy said, yeah, if we were 8 years old, implying that this is for kids.
Huh. Let's see your kid build one. Let's see your kid pay for one. Most adults can't pay for it. Pretty expensive.
For something that can be lost in a millisecond. Okay, I went around that canopy about 1/8 of an inch away from that. Now we're going to come back and pick it out. Maybe. And I'll come back with some sandpaper and sand it out. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing there. Let's see here. 14 and 15. There we go. T-Bone, good morning. Looking good. Thank you, Tom Luciano.
Okay, I got steam and scratch.
These things I'm doing now are what makes or breaks a model. Remember, if you followed my channel in the past, you only have one chance. There's no second chance on this. You can't make a mistake. You make a mistake, you just sell the airplane. Get rid of it.
I think I've seen you do that before.
Well, I took my Tucker home. It's now hanging on the wall.
Couldn't live with that cracked fuselage side, eh?
No, not even. I glued it back together. It just looked like crap.
Yeah, you need to finish it, paint it, primer, paint it, and all that crap. How many colors did it go through?
Just one.
Well, you're fortunate. Like you said, I think you said it on videos before. Normally the brake goes through 3 or 4 different colors. 3 or 4 different maskings.
Well, as my Junar, we repaired my Junar over here. It was through all the colors.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks, Jerry.
It sure was. Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta cut him some slack. I really think the wind caught that thing and did that on him, and he was just happened to be the guy holding the airplane at the time.
I got a picture of Jerry when he was, looks about 17. what happened was is they were cleaning out his desk at work, and they found a folder, a binder, and he's got all these drawings in there, Mickey Mouse stuff. I mean, I can see why I built his airplanes for him. You know.
Well, they did a lot of combat flying.
Yeah. Well,
Jerry's a combat flyer, basically.
yeah, but theories and principles were way out.
Well, they were trying everything under the sun. You know, they were trying, you know,
Diamond airfoils.
diamond airfoils and stuff like that, and
Yeah, I got all them drawings.
using yardsticks for spars and
Yeah, those work.
all sorts of strange things. They anything to try to get an advantage, you know, and they definitely tried.
Anyway, it's got a bunch of pictures of him when he won the Nats combat. Got a lot of trophies, pictures back when they used to really give trophies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think there's 2 pictures of him personally. So I'm probably
His dad, I think his dad had his own combat design that Jerry did at the Nats.
All I can tell you is I sure miss him, especially at work.
Yeah. Miss him too.
Okay, I got this one side dug out. I'm gonna get a piece of sandpaper and we're gonna sand that edge in there. Let's see if we can zoom it a little bit. Trying to zoom with this camera is tough. So this is 180 folded over. Dig out. I gotta have gluing surface, and it's when I do these cockpits or canopies, my canopy look like it's part of the airplane, like it is molded in. It's not just stuck on there. And the most important thing to remember about when you got one shot. And I've said, go look at my Monado canopy install video or my Nobler canopy install video or the Atlas canopy. You got one shot to set this on here, and you got to stand there and hold it until it's dry.
You do it a little different than I do, but it still comes out the same. I tape mine on. But I still sit back and babysit them. Like that.
And part of this process is fit and refit. Don't just settle for, well, that's good enough, because it ain't. It's got to be right. And it's a pain. Very time consuming. But one nice thing, the superfill is helps you. I mean, it's kind of forgiving. Turn Dan on the superfill, he loves it.
I'll tell you what, man, that's the best stuff in the world. Talk about lightweight filler and easy to sand. It is the best. And the thing is strong too, because it's made for real airplanes, so.
When you're doing these canopies, don't forget to paint the inside lip of the canopy. You'll be sorry, sorry, sorry if you don't.
Yeah. Definitely won't be one of your better days. I got them scratches on there. A little bit of water, hot iron.
You do.
Fingernail scratches. I think I'd learn so I haven't cut them off.
Okay, that's one side. Somebody out there hasn't hit the like button. 3 of you.
You're getting on there. Getting on me, guys.
Now it's 2 of you.
Come on, click out of the chat. Go hit the like button. Click back in. Only takes a second.
Leave a comment in the comment section after the video.
You know, I don't hardly ever use pens anymore. I used to always use pens to build with, and I very rarely ever use a pen anymore.
Yeah, because you got CA.
Well, not just that, but like I'm not going to glue this wood on my CA. I'm going to glue it on wood glue, but I weight everything or tape it. I might use CA to, like when I'm using this wood glue, I use some CA maybe just to tack it so it won't move. I don't like using CA when I got a whole lot of stuff to do.
Ooh, a little too far there. Maybe. I see kind of a void. Let's see here. Yep. It'll be all right. So how much of the canopies, how much money I got invested in this canopy? $50?
Well, they're anywhere from $6 to $9 or something like that. And you got what, 4 of them?
Yeah.
You got $30 about.
2 pilots. So there's $10 at least. First pilot, I didn't like him. Cut too short. Of course, I could drop this guy down a little bit too. Now that I'm here, I could put him on the belt sander and drop him.
Yeah.
I cut it with the saw and then sanded it with the block, but ain't as good as a disc sander. And get them perfect with the disc sander. I think I'll do that. Take 1/16 off of them. Make them lighter.
Yeah, you can chop him down just ever so slightly. He's hurt.
Make up for the hairdo I put on them.
Yeah. What'd that cost you in weight?
About a gram.
Not bad.
About a gram. What are you gonna do? I mean,
Paint Canopy on. Doesn't look as good though.
it's a lot lighter to have no pilot. The best way to do it is have Tommy Looper carve me another one.
Yeah.
That guy is so good at carving pilots. It's unreal. Maybe I'll try it someday. I don't know.
I don't think it's rocket science stuff.
Yeah, but I'm an artist, but that takes a special kind of art. I mean, do figures.
About everybody does this kind of stuff's got some kind of artistry in them.
You know what I ought to do? I ought to take the motor tool with a ball on the end of it and go around this.
That work too.
You got a little 16th ball?
Yeah.
I don't have anything that small. Oh, and for you guys that are looking for polywogs, they got them on Evil Bay. They have them on Amazon, and they're called sanding grips. I bought another set. Get 8 pieces for $10.
Good deal.
What did Barb say when you let the bird out?
She's been crying for about a week now. Can't stop crying. It's my little buddy, man. I miss my little buddy.
Have to get another one.
Poor little guy's probably dead. They're tropical birds and they don't take cold weather. And they can only take a couple days of below 40 degrees.
And he's probably not smart enough to get into.
Well, the only thing we can hope for, he is sort of a people person.
That he
You know,
flew down to eat from somebody and
Yeah, maybe got hungry and saw somebody standing somewhere and flew down and they got him. We've got a wanted ad out for him. I haven't heard anything yet, just good wishes, but it got so damn cold. I mean, it snowed a couple times
yeah.
and it was down in the 20s and stuff, so that's not good.
The next one you're gonna clip his wings.
We had one got away here about 10 years ago. About the same deal. Flew out the door when looking out the door, and had both wings clipped. Still flew.
He just was flying harder, huh?
Just flapped his wings harder. And that one stayed around the neighborhood for about a week. I climbed a tree and was within probably 10 feet of him. Would not come to me. Has cage out on the roof of the house and all that stuff, and he would not. He was right across the street. No, you could see it. Them little boogers got eyeballs like something else. And no, to no avail.
Okay, I need a 16th inch bit.
Had an umbrella cockatoo that had cancer. Not that one.
Where is the second drawer? Oh, where are they?
Top drawer.
I don't see them. Oh, here we go. Okay. Blue ball. Yeah, I'm gonna miss him eating lunch.
Yeah.
Nobody to pester me or crap on me.
He is a good little baby. Bless his heart.
Okay, I'm gonna unplug this phone and plug this thing in here. Hopefully it won't die on me.
Got dry for about a half hour. I went out and got some glue the other day. I spent $50.
I don't think this ball is the best way to go. Maybe the
How little of a one do you got? I got a real teeny one. You need about an 1/8 inch.
you got a pointy one that I'll probably I can't get down in where I need to get into with this one. What are you doing with this basswood?
I had to use it for spacer, my tile. So I had to dig into my airplane stuff to do carpentry on the kitchen.
This may be better.
I'm done using it. get some more. I had to put it away.
No, gonna have to do it by hand. There ain't no machine work. Do it by hand.
You should have left them things there. You could have set that on the side and done half of each whack.
That's all right.
That pad would be better if it had about 3 or 4 inches cut off the bottom of it too.
Yeah.
A little lower.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm through. Look. I don't know.
Yeah, you better watch that. You better watch that, baby. It'll get you.
Should be all right. Should be okay.
Did you mold that out of 16th or 8th or 3/32?
2 pieces of 16, but it's been sanded.
Yeah. You don't have a lot of room. Yeah, that's something else they don't realize you gotta do. You gotta sand that at the angle that canopy comes off of it,
Yeah.
or it'll hold it up.
So I'll fit it and see what happens.
Yeah, that could be a 3 or 4 hour job,
What?
cutting that canopy in.
It is what it is. I mean,
Yeah,
gotta get done.
yeah. Ain't any difference. 3 or 4 hours or not.
Yeah, just toys. Okay, I need to sand a little bit of that. It fits pretty good. Need to sand a little bit of this side off and hope not to burn through it. Is that the flap tool from now on?
Yeah, I got 2 of them actually. A little Harbor Freight table saw and then this. I haven't changed the adjustments on any of it, so. probably won't use it for anything but that, either one of them.
Well, it's perfect. I mean, that's a
Well,
great.
they're all set up for 3/8, so as long
Yeah.
as you don't change from 3/8, then you don't have to do any more adjustment on them.
Well, I gotta tell you, that design there is way better than the first design.
Yeah, I like it much better.
Better than what I got on here by far.
You got a bearing surface, you really don't have any bearing surfaces on the other two kinds. This way, heck, you got full length bearing surface. You can stick in flaps in there.
I'd like to know how much heavier it is. How much does that rod weigh? You got a rod? Let's weigh the rod.
Well, you got a piece of music wire that runs that length, which you really don't have to have. I mean, if you want to make them removable, then fine. Or you can just leave them off until the last minute and just use a little piece of carbon and little teeny short pieces of music wire wherever the end.
I don't think the carbon is much lighter than the music wire.
Pretty light. I don't know that I can even measure it.
I need to make a balsa air tank while I'm here on the lathe. Or two of them. Yeah. Just sit behind the pilot.
Yeah. Are you gonna paint the correct color?
Yeah, this time. I even bought it.
It doesn't look like a fire extinguisher or something like that back there.
I don't know what. I think carbon dioxide is in the silver bottle. So my Manalo has 2 carbon dioxide tanks. I guess they're fire extinguishers.
Yeah, all that stuff's color coded. That's for sure.
I didn't have any green, so didn't have any green. Just painted silver. Close enough.
I've done stuff like that before. After all, it is just a model.
Okay, if you look at it, it's not in the groove. You bring it forward until it drops in the groove. That's in the groove there. That's in the groove. That's perfect. So what happens is you take a pin and you stipple holes on the bottom. So the glue, like little rivets, about every 1/8 inch. So the glue has somewhere to adhere to it. I use 5-minute epoxy. If you're not real sure of yourself, use 15-minute and tape it or whatever. I use 5-minute and hold it. And then come back with the superfill over the top of it. That's why you have to paint a 1/4 inch wide white line inside the canopy so it doesn't show the superfill or the glue. And then after the canopy is glued on, a 1/4 inch overlap to fill that groove in. And then you sand it flush and it looks like it's molded in, because it is. It is molded in. But that's how you do it. I hate it when the canopies look like they're just stuck on there. It's stupid. But nobody would, you wouldn't take the time to finish it out.
Well, really, a real airplane is sort of like that. They're not the prettiest things in a lot of them. But something else, a whole another ballgame.
When you paint this, you scuff the canopy up till it's frosted, and when you clear it, clear the whole model, the canopy turns clear again. What I'm gonna do here with this guy, weigh it together.
You can't even,
Yeah, put it up there.
it won't even change it.
3/10, okay. What I'm gonna do with this guy is I did cut a 16th off the bottom of him, along the bottom here. I'm gonna go ahead and run him on the disc sander and take another 16th off so he sits lower down in the cockpit.
Piece of flat music wire weighs 3/10.
What's that?
3/10. And I can't even weigh the piece of carbon. So I may end up just putting this in pieces. Not make them removable.
So I dropped him down a little bit. There we go. Oh, what is 3/10? How many grams?
Well, there's music wire if you want to weigh it.
Where?
Right there. It's a little bit long by about 2 inches, but
9 grams, over a quarter ounce.
Yep.
So that's a half ounce for both sides. That's a lot.
when I could use.
I think you need some arrow shaft leading edges and some.
I could use 8 1-inch pieces.
I think you need some arrow shaft leading edges and a carbon fiber trailing edge, and then sand it to shape, and then 2 layers of 2-ounce glass cloth with 3 coats of resin on it, and then urethane, and then block sand it.
Sure.
That we have some really stiff flaps.
Yeah. I might embed a piece of carbon in the trailing edge.
Yeah.
Just may do that. Just a real little paper thin piece as a line. It won't add anything to stiffness or nothing like that. The only way you get stiffness is put stuff on the outside surface of things. And the farther it's apart from one another, the more strength you get. But those flaps already weigh a lot. They're not sanded yet, but they're
You ain't gonna get a whole lot out of them.
5.2, 5.3 pound wood. And they're not getting sanded flat, a flat triangle shape. They're getting airfoiled sort of. So yeah, it's not going to take a lot of weight off of them. But then again, they'll be as stiff as you can make them. Really, they're probably as stiffer than a build-up flap. My build-up flaps aren't any stiffer than solid wood flaps.
These are lighter.
They can be.
They get light wood.
I'm not so sure that these are any lighter than my build-up ones that I do. They're about that.
Make you some foam filled ones. Those are good.
Oh yeah, they'll probably weigh more, as we found out. They look real great in the aggregate, before any glue gets put on them.
I thought, wow, this is going to be super.
So did I. I was proud of it, man. I come out there to the flying field, ready just bust like hell. Had all the parts and pieces there, weighed everything up.
I think you got too much flap here. But who am I?
It'll work.
Everything will work.
It'll be all right.
What I like about it is that that's really good. You got carbon in here?
Right now, you don't want to use that for a bearing.
Right.
You don't. That can't be your axle for your flaps. No way, because that is not a bearing surface. But like I say, I may just take this and put a short piece of carbon rod in there. Then wherever I got a flap, I'll put a little 1-inch piece of music wire in there and just stack it in there.
How are you going to get that carbon fish down in there?
Just start pushing it down through there.
And then when I get to this hole, I guess you could get in there with a knife.
Just put a little point on each one of them. That's what I did with this. I just ground a little round end on it.
I understand.
Yeah, I know you understand. This one, I had to grab it because I glued it in. And I squished the end of it.
And if you do that, you never get the flaps back off.
Well, how many airplanes have you built in your lifetime that didn't have removable flaps?
All of them.
How many airplanes you built in your life didn't have anything more but lead out and tip weight for adjustments that you could get to?
All of them. But it would be nice to have removable flap and elevator.
All that stuff costs you weight-wise. It'd be nice to have totally take apart airplane.
That's 3 ounces. I don't know how Yatsenko are 50 some ounces, 56, 58 ounces, and they're all completely take apart.
Like you say, you got 3 ounces to take apart, or more, maybe more, because they got not just the wing take apart stuff, they got the fuselage take apart and the elevator and stab it take apart.
You know, those airplanes only last 1 season.
Oh yeah, they're not built to last. They're not beefy. If somebody competed with one actively, like some of these guys do, 500, 600 flights a year, they wore the airplane out. It's ready for some major reworking. Jerry's was starting to show that, and he didn't even fly it that much. Which I think he got a second hand too, but
Yeah. Then I rebuilt the nose for him for electric.
yeah. Which that probably was a mistake. Those planes don't have any adjustment to them. Don't have any lead out adjustment. They're
No
all
tip
fixed.
weight adjustment either. Of course, they're already tried and tested. I mean, here's the lines, here's the box, here's
They know, from building
10
thousand
zillion of them.
That what works on that airplane, and they got the weight down to a fine size. Now, I don't see how they laminate that with fiberglass on the inside and outside
and keep it so light. I don't care if they did only use 32nd-inch wood, or even foam, whatever, super thin sheet of foam instead of the wood. Epoxy weighs X amount. You know, you got to saturate the.
And that's gel coat on there. Those aren't painted. Those are painted in the mold, gel coat.
Yeah.
Have to go over to Ukraine and see how they do it.
Doran's doing some pretty light stuff.
Yeah, but his airplanes don't look like Yatsenko.
No, they look pretty nice though. Pretty nice.
Put some
He's
paint
not-
on that baby, and that adds at least 6 ounces. That's if he does it my way.
Well, yeah, but he's still coming out with a nice light airplane. You know, that's still all carbon. So he's got a way of just adding just enough.
We have an inside to some carbon fiber guy that might know something. Where do you get your canopies? I get them from the hobby shop. You can get them from SIG.
So they're SIG canopies. They're all SIG canopies. There's one right there. You can get all different kinds. You can get World War II, World War racing, all different sizes.
Pro hardware. See, that says right on it. Pro hardware. Or we make them.
The ones that are like for an SV are called World War II canopy, I think. Or you can get a chipmunk canopy.
P51.
And, well, I think that is a chipmunk canopy.
P51 is what's on my Monado.
This is a 9-inch World War II canopy. That's a SV canopy, basically. SV 23 canopy. Then you can take that canopy, or you can take any of these canopies, even like this one that Sparky's using here. And if you want a completely different look, just turn it around backwards. Put the back on front. You want a real low, slicky looking canopy? Goes back into a turtle deck, say back here, and want it real super sleek. Now these, the SV, they got sort of the flat on the front here, just a little narrow flat spot. And then
That's what was on my Thunderbolt.
a P51 or a SIG chipmunk canopy. It looks like a P51 canopy. It's got the molded in frame and stuff like that in them. Pretty neat. I mean, they can be, you know, be dressed up civilian or military, either one. Doesn't make any difference.
Or you can carve a plug and mold one like we did for my Tucker or John's Nobler.
Or yes, or the Takano. Where'd that canopy mold go?
John's going to show you a mold here.
This was my Takano mold. I don't know if you can see that picture. There was the Takano.
Who is that guy in the picture?
Done up in Brazilian air show color scheme.
That's at the Canats.
That was at FCM.
Yeah, but
So yeah, Muncie. But this was a canopy mold for that. And it took me about, this was the first time I ever molded the canopy myself. And I had this big, giant canopy to do. And I went through about 10 pieces of plastic before I finally got a couple really nice ones out of it. And I tried different thicknesses of plastic. And at first I tried it with no primer on it. And I molded that canopy. And even though it was sanded down to about 1,000 grit paper and doped and stuff,
you could still see the grain of the wood in the canopy. And so I end up having to primer it and all that stuff and sand it down to where it's literally smooth as glass. And then I got one pulled out of it that didn't show, the grain or anything like that. This is was a plaster Paris mold. This isn't the first mold I did for that camp. I actually did 2 of them. The first one I ruined. But I got a good canopy off of it, even though I had some bubbles in it. I got a good canopy off of it, and I filled that with plaster of Paris that made this mold from one of my first canopies that I did on it. But that's a big one. That thing's 14 inches long, probably. 15 and a half, 16, almost 16 inches long. It's a big canopy. Compared to this one, this is a 9 or 10 inch canopy. The one you got there is underneath the airplane's the one you're using, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a learning experience to do all that stuff. So what's nice about it is that you don't have to worry about buying one. If you really don't want to buy one, make it. Pretty simple. Just make one. Tons of videos on it out there. I think I just went online and watched a bunch of videos, and I made myself a vacuum box.
How much does that thing weigh?
I don't know.
That's the test.
As much as it weighs.
Got to be 10 ounces in that steak right there.
That's probably more than 10 ounces. One of yours might be 10 ounces in that steak. This one ain't built out of unobtainium wood. I'm sure it weighs more than 10 ounces.
$70 ounces.
Weighs 12.
2 ounces over. Plus tips would be 13. Plus the weight by 13 and a half.
You can't build a light airplane with heavy wood. I mean, you can't do it.
Remember,
this is all 5.5 pound wood, or probably more.
Remember, if you skip and save on the finish, use light tissue and light, do it our way and this thing comes out 16 ounces covered, you can still make the weight.
Yeah.
But that's 16 ounces complete. What happened here?
I don't see anything. Do you?
You won't.
Nothing inside there. same thing that happened right in here somewhere. I have nothing there. I didn't have nothing there. Yeah, it was right up in here. Little square cut out right
No,
here.
I cut it off.
It was there.
Yeah, it was there, but it got cut off.
Probably one of the reasons why you cut that off there.
No, not really.
Now let me tell you something. If anybody's ever built a wing upside down and put the lead outs out the wrong end of the wing tip, or the tip weight box on the wrong side of the wing, you're not building.
I told Dan to make sure to put his on the top of the wing like all the pro stunners.
Oh yeah. Anybody can do it. It's very, very easy. Very, very easy.
I think it's about time to paint this canopy area. Some white, get some clear on it, and I normally don't clear them, but this one I'm gonna.
Yeah, you really want it to match your paint down.
Well, I usually make the inside of the canopy or cockpit flat.
With a dash. Yeah, I guess you could get all of it flat. Wouldn't matter. I do all the clothing and all that stuff in flat paint. Try to. I mean, your clothes are shiny, are they? You're wearing,
Well, the pilot's not gonna be shiny.
unless you're wearing plastic. Raincoat.
Oh, man. Feel a little bump here. I'm pretty happy with that. It should be all right. I wish I wouldn't have cut through the sheeting there. But it shouldn't matter once I get epoxy in there, should it? See that
No,
slide?
it won't hurt anything. I've done that many times and it didn't hurt a thing.
Here I'm telling you to be careful, and what do?
Mhm.
I guess it could be a whole lot worse than a half inch.
One thing about this show is you get all the mess ups that go along with everything else.
It's only wood.
That's right. Biggest thing is just don't get flustered. Just go about doing it.
It's only wood.
About the only part I pin on these ends is that right there, and I always pin that just because it go down on you. I'd rather them be a little bit high and sand them down flush than be low. That's it. Where you put your finger in it?
Where I put my finger.
Yeah, remember when it went crunch on you that one day?
Really?
Yeah. So I had to break in the grain of the woods. I had to harden it up. No big deal. It'll be fine. It's on the bottom, nice and you can see it sort of pressed. It's thin there.
Why'd you sand it so thin?
I didn't. That's not been sanded.
Oh, that's 32nd wood, right?
That's 16th inch.
Oh,
Nothing has been sanded that's not been touched by a piece of sandpaper. It was sanded when it was on the mold, and that's all it's been sanded on. Because I didn't have this one, I haven't sanded this in smooth.
yeah, I think we need to, well, I know I'm gonna do foam leading edges from now on, after this one.
I'll tell you what, they are the cat's meow. You probably get, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, I'm stretching that tape. Masking tape will stretch a little bit and then it'll compress and act like a clamp. And now don't worry about putting water on that. I put quite a bit of water on this after that wood glue was on there to wipe the excess wood glue off, and what that'll do is that'll sort of suck that wood glue into the pores of wood a little bit more and help it sort of glue itself in on top of wiping off the excess that gushed out of it.
11:30.
11:30. Now, since I don't use any pins or anything, put some of these John Morris building weights on here just to keep that pushed down against the ribs. Believe you me, this isn't very much weight. I put 100 pounds of weight on a wing before. Literally 100 pounds of weight. I can show you the weights. And not crushed a wood wing. And that's not a foam core wood wing or anything like that. That is a build-up wood wing, just like this one right here. I got to get some other stuff taken care of and get back on these airplanes again. It's the first day I've been down here since the last time you were ever here. That's been 2 weeks ago. I haven't been down here since then.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah. I got other things on the agenda. Got to be taken care of.
Put your finger right here and let me step back. That's much better. Yeah, that looks way better. You look at it.
More gooder. That'd be great. That would be great. That'll blend in real nice for you because you cut that in there. Like guys don't do that. You know, I'll take superfill and sand it in around here, and then I'll take a piece of tissue paper and bridge that superfill to the paper on the fuselage. And boy, you do all that stuff to it and you won't ever see it. It'll just blend in super smooth. Sometimes I worry about the superfill maybe cracking. I've never had it done it, but
Well, the way that I glue them on by stippling the, I put little holes in the bottom and then epoxy.
you know, I've put them on with RC56 glue, the Canopy glue, and not had them come off. I've done Thal Raby way with little round circles of fiberglass and epoxy all the way around it, overlapping little round circles, all that crap. Heavy. That's some heavy way you done that.
Well, Al liked bulletproof.
Oh, he definitely liked bulletproof. He wasn't the flaps. You couldn't twist him if you ran over him with a car.
He had them too.
He has a point. I mean, there is a point. But the flap, well, it only has to be as able to support the flying weight that it's going to see. So if you build an airplane that's 60 ounces instead of 80 ounces, it means it doesn't have to see as much force. It's not going to see as much force.
What do you got for a little rod to sand fillets with? Dowel, 1/8 dowel or something?
Dowels, whatever.
Too big.
You're a picky one, aren't you?
Too big.
You're not picky one. Okay.
Look at this.
Look in the drawer there.
What drawer?
This drawer. Is there a... I had a baggie. I thought they had some sandy doohickeys in it that were sort of made like this, only with a little piece of flat metal on instead of a tube. And you'd be out in the garage.
There's a nice one. That's a big one. I didn't get one of them.
Yeah, you got one of each.
I didn't get a 1/2 inch. I got 3/8 and 1/4.
No, you got 3/8 and a half. That's the only sizes that I made. Yeah, there's 2 more 3/8 and 1/2. I made 3 3/8 and 2 1/2.
Well, I lost it because I don't have it
I
found.
only gave you 2 of them.
Yeah, I know you did too, but I thought it was 3/8 and 1/4 because I don't have one that big.
I think it was actually 5/8. No, yeah, it looks like half inch. Where's that? Is that too big?
Yeah, I'll use the arrow shaft too. That should work.
I mean, there's a carbon fiber rod. I mean, there's a piece of 1/8 inch fuel line in there. Is that?
No, this should work right here.
What about that side?
No, this is good right here.
Coming along right nicely.
Yeah, except for those what you pointed out to me today.
You know, that's the first I've seen them. We just got exactly that bright light out in the garage with the one light turned off in the garage and the garage door every night. It just stuck out. Now I'm serious, I have not put a piece of sandpaper on the leading edge of this airplane since it came off the mold. Yeah, I sanded
That's probably a good thing.
on the mold. Well, it's only 16th inch wood, and if you sand it on the airplane,
That's probably why those happened. I sanded.
and you'll stretch the wood if nothing else. Even if you don't sand it into it, you'll stretch the wood and cause it to do that. And then with the dope shrinking and all that, gets wet. That loosens up the fibers in the wood, and the dope shrinks, and then start horsey look.
I'll put that feather filled primer on this, sand it out. Load it up.
Oh, hell yeah.
Take that gallon of primer out in the garage and 15 pounds and shoot it all on there and then block it off.
You'll sand all that off there.
Oh, yeah. Sand it all off.
11 pounds is what that gallon weighs. 11 pounds. And a gallon of water weighs what?
7.
7. So I got 4 pounds of filler in there. 4 pounds of whatever. Ground up baby powder or whatever they're using, sand.
Gypsum rock. I think it's lead. And let me tell you what's bad about what I'm doing here. I'm going over this and I'm sanding what I can see. When I put the first coat of white on it, oh God.
You're gonna be pissed.
It'll look like crap. Then you gotta go and sand it all and fix all that shit again.
Yeah, but hopefully, by doing all this much work, you only got little spots by that point in time that you have to do anything with a lot of them. If you spend your time right now detailing, you're gonna give it a whole nother sanding with 500, 600 grit paper before you paint it. Well, that's how I do mine, and I get some pretty smooth finishes. You do it the same way.
I know, but it's that first coat is just, oh God.
Every time. Well, it's just like putting that first coat of primer on one. If you do like the guys that spray silver or whatever, that first coat of silver you put on it, all them little screw ups you think you had out of it are either still there or there's some you didn't see. One thing nice about painting your airplane, the majority of it white, is the fact that white covers a lot of little things. Don't cover all of it, but it covers a little bit of it.
Yeah, but this part right up here is blue.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how much the paint job's gonna cost me, it's gonna be red, white, and blue. And it's gonna be that motif.
Yeah, that's it. Chipmunk, my chipmunk I did. I built a big chipmunk a long time ago, and I did it all in monocoat, but I did the starburst, super chipmunk thing on it. It was really nice, except it weighed about 62 ounces for a 35 size airplane. Used all the kit wood and all that stuff. Back in my young days, back in 70s, 21, 22 years old. I built that airplane I was living in a guy's basement, and he had a bar in the basement that was about 6 foot long and 2 foot wide, and I built that airplane on that bar. Right alongside of the Nebuchadnezzar Seagram. I don't know where that came from. I think his mom won it somewhere at the Eagles or.
You got a fingernail file?
Nah. What do you want a fingernail file for? Get down in the slot?
Yeah.
Good luck. I think they're too thick to go down in there.
I guess you could try this.
One of these metal ones might get down in there. They don't sand as good, but these are thinner than the paper ones.
That worked.
Yeah, the old lady looks at me. What are you looking at fingernail files for?
Yeah, they
I
need
don't
to.
know, man.
My
Are you gonna file your fingernails? I ain't never seen you file your fingernails. For airplanes. Oh, I get it. Everything's for airplanes. It's always about airplanes. Yeah. The problem with those metal files is they're not coarse enough.
Yeah, this one here is the let me see the this one here. And you've already used the end of it. It needs to be cut off.
Probably doing just what you're doing right there.
Scissors. Cut the end off.
There's a whole problem with fingernail. I was doing that.
Details. It's all in the details.
Yeah, I could just leave it to look like crap, and then they go, "Hey, what are you gonna do about that?"
Yeah, you'll need to go through every one of them with a little needle nose file.
Yeah, you got one.
Yeah. You know I got it.
You see it.
You're at my house. I got it. For the most part. Got everything except tooling. Still working on that. I wonder where that round file came from. One of them got in the garage sale.
Don't want to open these up though.
No, don't open them up. Just take the paper off of them. That one's had the tips broke off of it, I think, 'cause it's not very pointy on them. I mean, you can still make them work, but it means you gotta wrap a piece of paper or something around them.
I got a week sanding to go yet, at least, before I'm ready to paint.
Well, yeah, I'll probably, if you get the canopy on it and yeah, probably a week. You're getting pretty close.
Let's see what it weighs as is right there. Pilot Canopy, I haven't weighed that yet. Hopefully we're in the 50s still.
Different wheels.
Yeah, different wheels, low 50s. That's what I'm shooting for. $32 and $12 is 50. No, 32, 42, 48. 48.8. Let's see. 16 and 16 is 32 and 12.8. 32 is 48.8 ounces. All right. 32, 42, 16 inch. It's 2.12 ounces. 16 is 32. 42, 44. God, I can't
How
even
many
think.
grams is it?
It's 1270.
$44.82.
Wow, that's better than I thought. Oh, wait a minute.
Gotta put the motor in it.
It's 1434. I had this thing on the edge of the scale.
$52.38.
$52 with the canopy. Got a little bit of superfill, so we'll say 53 and 6 is 59.
You're gonna be pressed to get it in under 60. You're gonna be hard pressed to get it in under 60. It'd probably be more realistic, it'd be 62.
I don't want it 62.
I know you don't want it, but you're gonna put that paint job on it and that kind of stuff, you gotta be realistic.
60, as long as you're under 64, you're still in the
Yeah, but they,
small line size
yeah,
diameters.
yeah, but they don't fly as good. I gotta hit that 58 mark.
Well, you're not gonna hit 58. Not get what you want. You better buy a Casminato PA75 built by Honda.
Why would I need that? Is it lighter than set PA?
Well, if it was built out all carbon by Honda, yeah, it could be
Oh.
lighter. The Formula One engine,
That Canopy added, they Canopy and Pilot added a lot, really. Let's see how much a Canopy weighs. Canopy and
I
Pilot.
weighed an ounce and a half. And you don't have a dash in it yet.
It's not gonna get a dash. You just paint it on with nothing. So we got 1.2 ounces for Canopy and Pilot,
An ounce and a half.
plus the super fill on there. So yeah, it's an ounce and a half. What are you gonna do?
You're looking at the wrong guy, man. I know. I know it sucks. And what sucks worse, and I know we talk about this, we beat it into the ground, and we think we're never going to have it again, and we think we got it solved, but you always have an ounce and a half or 2 ounces of mystery weight at the very end. It don't matter where all this stuff comes up, and every time you weigh it, yeah, it's great. Keep track of your weight. Keep it absolutely as light as you can, but you still have those mystery ounces that come on at the very end, and that you don't know where they came from.
Well, 1.5 of them are right here.
I heard one person say one thing to me one time that might make sense. Was it a humid day when you weighed the airplane last time?
Yeah.
Did it just absorb moisture out of the air and gained an ounce? Doesn't it? Ounce is a whole lot of weight, but a lot of weight if you think about it as moisture, but I could see gaining something just by a dry day versus a rainy day, you know, and then the bare balsa wood is like just a sponge. One of them dilemmas.
Well, you know, my Junar doesn't have a Pilot. It has a painted on Canopy. That was ultra good wood.
Yeah, I know that airplane was built out of 4-pound or less wood.
Yeah. This is Australian wood. Right. The best of the Australian wood I got.
It doesn't matter where it comes from. It just matters the cubic pounds, you know, pounds per cubic feet, you know. You're only going to build an airplane so light, even with 5-pound wood or 6-pound wood or 3-pound wood or whatever.
It has that continental look though. Except for the cowl.
Yeah. I can tell you that it's. I got an SV in there that weighs 64 ounces that I built out about might be 64 and a half. Got a 75 in it. And doesn't have the best finish in the world. It was covered completely with Dr. paper, which is medium weight silkspan basically. And that airplane was built with
probably 5-pound wood. And every rib on that thing was like an I-beam wing.
Check this out. I could sit there at 11 years old and listen to those old men all day and would not never have to say a word. It takes me back to the early 90s when I started and people really built their models and took pride and had lengthy conversations about everything from building and flying techniques. I have to say this is a treat for me. I find you live on here. I truly love watching your videos. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is really it. And you know, we argue too. We don't necessarily agree on everything.
Yeah, we don't agree,
But you got to be willing to listen to each side of it, because you never know. You might pick up a little bit of something here or there, or change the way you're doing things and learn. It's and I'm not afraid to try new things. I've never been afraid to try new things. There's a lot of this stuff. I switched every year hinge, and I used plastic hinges for years and years and years and years and years. Swore by them, had nice results with them. I come up with a system that worked real good for me, and it made for loose hinges and all that stuff. But I just sort of liked this. Looked a little more scale. And that's what I liked about it. Looked more scale.
they make sense. And then you improved on them by burying. I like that, whatever. Are you going to round this edge here?
Yep.
So it's going to look like a 60s model.
Sort of, yeah. Supposedly that's the ticket on that, not a sharp trailing edge on the wing, rounded over. It probably won't be like the leading edge of the flaps. It'll just be, abbreviated.
Wait till you get the tip thing on there.
Oh yeah. Nothing's getting sanded yet. I got to get the wing tips and all that on there. This is going to be ended up being about 62 inch wingspan, somewhere around in there in the end. I don't really want to go any bigger than that. But the way I'm going to do the wing tips, it's going to be that. And they're going to be built up wing tips too. They're not going to be solid. I don't have the wood to make solid.
Says that makes you real people. Overproduce ruins it for me. Yeah, there are no cuts or edits in these.
Now you get to see me sitting on my butt doing nothing.
And my screw ups.
Every screw up that we make is right there for God and the whole world to see. And we razz each other all the time about our mistakes. What are you gonna do about that? It's all part of the fun of it. I was sitting there. I was watching Sparky on a video. Actually, I was listening to it because I very rarely actually watch it, but I listen to him. And I heard him. I turned around and looked at him. He was sanding on something, and he's sanding, and he's sanding, and he's sanding. I said, "You're going to burn through that paper." And about that time, he said, "Damn, I just burnt through that paper." It's amazing. We keep redesigning these wingtips too. He sort of started doing this. I've done a couple like that sort of in the past, just straight out. And then he started curving them back here, and we keep curving them more and more and more.
This is almost correct.
I'm going to curve this from about right here. I'm going to curve it from about right there, right up to there. Back here about another half an inch.
Well, what I'm going to do on my next one is a 1/2 inch block out here so that this tip rolls over. I don't like how it's not a pronounced line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next ones will be good. only taking 500 airplanes.
And before you know, we can just go ahead and fill that in, make solid wingtips. We'll be good again.
That's what I have on the last 3 models is solid wingtips.
They work. I mean, they're
But
easy
they
to
don't weigh
cover.
a quarter ounce.
That's true. They don't weigh a quarter of an ounce. But they look good and they cover great. And now, if you could get your hands on some 2-pound wingtip wood with 3-pound, you might be able to get them down there to half an ounce a piece.
Let's see here. It's I'm telling you, I feel like I'm back in time again at our own local club. I miss the feel I once had is getting to be rare. I'd asked my old man something about why are you doing it that way, and he, without missing a beat, was simply telling me and told me I didn't know more than he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something about why are you doing it that way? He told me without missing a beat, replied, telling me if he told me, I'd know. Oh, if he told me, I'd know more than he did.
Yeah. It's a secret. It used to be a secret, everything. It used to be a well-kept secret.
Yeah, we don't keep any secrets on this channel.
No. And here's one of the things. Like we were talking about wingtips there just a second ago. He's got another way he's going to do it. I've got another way I'm going to try it. So we're not doing the exact same thing, which it helps because that improves our
Finished product, because if my way's better,
Yeah,
he'll do it my way. If his way's better, I'll do it his way.
You know, and we'll come across something that one of us will discover that works great and gets the look that we want. And this is all about a look. It's all about the way these wingtips look. And we've seen some really nasty looking wingtips out there that just some guys just take a sheet of wood and
Okay, what we're
flat
talking.
piece of 16th on there and looks like crap. And
Okay, here's what we're talking about here. Let me see. It's no, you can't see. So we gotta go down like this. Okay, if you look here, the wood comes around and goes around this corner like that and around this way, and the paper doesn't lay quite right because I'm using this is an I-beam wingtip. It's only a 1/2 inch perimeter. It's not solid in the center. I went ahead and did another rib here because the last tips I did just had the one rib in, but then you get a big
flat spot.
Flat spot in the wingtip. So in order to get rid of that, my idea is to take this turn here and come back, build up another 1/2 inch out this way, sanded round, so that the paper lays flat on the tip. And then, of course, the shape ribs in there. And his way, he's just going to come around.
I'm going to come around from this point to the lead trailing edge of the sheeting back to here with this tip, this whole one-piece tip, carved back to here. You're still losing half of the solid sheeted wingtip because all that's hollowed out anyway. But it does away with this rib and this facet and hopefully try to get this transition to look more, make it look like a solid wingtip with it being built up, less wood.
He says it sure looks nice. Sure, variable perspectives being a conclusion. Correct.
That's how we experiment. You know, we're on this 3-ounce stab and elevator thing. You know, Sparky's built 10 or 15 of them. I built 10 or 15 of them all different ways, and we still come up with this 3-ounce.
That's the barrier
we can't get past, you know.
Except that one was 2 3/4 ounce.
Only because this is all built up out of solid wood.
I know.
And you had good wood.
Right.
But if you can't find good wood, you're
sunk.
You're sunk. You gotta find 3-pound wood. Or 3.5-pound wood.
And then there again, give me your crutch. Where's your other crutch?
Right there.
right there.
Well, here's one like it that's just built up. But
And let's have that one because it's apples to apples. Okay, these. I mean, I can tell you what shit weighs on the airplane.
this is one. with the
These-
top sheeting on it.
These normally weigh 3 ounces. That's just the way it is. This one here, and it's got the metal pads on, I bet it's 2.5 because of how it was made. With the, see, this one has solid mounts. This one has dadoed mounts, plus it's lost 1/8 of an inch. So let's see what they weigh. Landing gear are going to be 3 ounces. Doesn't matter what you do. You can have wing mounted gear, you can have fuse mounted gear, you can have carbon fiber, you can have piano wire. They're going to be 3 ounces. But
Right in there.
we've come up with the lighter wheels, and that's taken a little off of it, like 2 7/10. So this here. This one's light. This one's 2.6 ounces. So this one's light. This is hollow here.
It's a hollow one.
Yeah, okay. But this one here is 2.0. So you lost 1 ounce. That one's 2.4.
There's no aluminum on it, but it's got the wood on the top of it.
But if you put half-inch separators in here, like they weigh 3 ounces. So this one here is 2.0. So you save 1 ounce on the nose there.
I got one that's conventional.
Canopy's going to weigh 1 ounce. I didn't know that 1.5 ounces, that's kind of a mystery ounce. Those spinners that we use, they're super heavy. Now, I got a Medusa spinner that weighs 7 grams, but that's unobtainium. You can't get the darn things. The Casminato fuel tank, that weighs, what was it, 1.8 or?
Somewhere around in there, 1.5 ounces.
Ounce and a half, because the other ones are 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, you save 1 ounce, but it cost you $100.
Or it might be 3 ounces for a metal tank. For a 7-ounce or 8-ounce metal tank. These are ready to put in an airplane, literally. And probably cut off some of this. I always run those out there to begin with, all the way to the back of the nose ring.
It says
And
here.
then you cut off them whatever you want.
Is there another engine that is lighter than yours that would work? I've been running Super Tiger 60s. Okay, let's go with this. If you run a pipe, that's 3 ounces. That's a pipe and the header. That's an extra 3 ounces. This motor here weighs 13.5 ounces with the header, so it's 13 ounces. That's the same weight as the Super Tiger 60, but the PA is a little heavier. If you want power, it's going to be, you have 22 ounces of hardware, no matter what.
Yeah, there's uncontrollable weight that you got there. Now you could take a lot of your 440 bolts that you use, and if you can find aluminum ones,
I got them.
I know you got them. I can't find them myself. I found quarter 20s. That's as small as I've been able to find socket head cap screws. But if I find a reliable source for 440 aluminum bolts, I'll buy 1,000 of them just to have them. But anytime you can save weight like that, those are all fixed weights that really
You can't get around it. The heaviest thing on your airplane, heaviest single thing on your airplane next to the engine is the paint. And I found a way around painting to cut half the weight off. And I've turned it on to John, and it does work. It doesn't produce
you know, these are 70 size motors. It's 77, 75, whatever they are, 70 size motors. Big honking, big lots of horsepower motors. The only way you may be able to save weight is to put a 46 in it. But your 46s, a lot of them weigh as much as this does. They're no lighter. They might be maybe an ounce.
For half the horsepower.
Yeah, for half the horsepower. So you got this big giant motor that's just lunking along, not even working, and you never wear the thing out, or you got a 40 size engine that's turning at the top of its guts to produce the same horsepower, and you got to rebuild it every year. I mean, what's
it?
I'll take the little extra weight that this one weighs, rather than having a little motor screaming its guts out that's on the verge of self-destruction the whole time.
Now, the lightest package for these big airplanes is a Super Tiger 60. They got great horsepower. What?
Probably.
Yeah, they got great horsepower, but you can't get them. I mean,
I got an Enya 61. They're pretty good. They're fuel efficient too. They only burn about 4 ounces of fuel for a 61. But I got one on that big profile stunt plane that it's a 60 size, profile airplane it's got Enya 61 in it. It burns about 4 ounces of fuel. And so I guess if
he put 6 ounces in it and flew 3 patterns.
Yeah, like it wore me out. Come on, Lance.
Yeah, I'm glad I brought that other Canopy.
Yeah. Now, see, you went back to the original Canopy that we had.
Yeah, well.
But that's all right. I mean, you found out what you want. Now, you can always cut this down shorter and make them the same size.
No, I'll use it on another airplane, even if I got to cut it backwards, like you said, and put it on a Viper or something. I got lots of canopies.
Yeah, me too. I probably got 10 or 15 extra canopies, maybe 20 of them. But all this stuff is subjective, I mean, weight really is.
Weight equals horsepower.
Yeah, it takes more weight you got, more horsepower it takes to pull around.
So the more horsepower you have, the heavier the airplane. And the heavier the airplane, the more horsepower you need.
The more wing levy that it has, and the wing will only support so much weight for a given design. And after you exceed that weight limit, then it starts doing weird things like mushing in corners, like turning and dropping. That's what most of your heavy airplanes do. And then by the time you get to the third corner of a square or something like that, you're running out of energy.
The eighth corner.
Or the eighth corner, half the eighths. You run out of horsepower.
Well, we've dropped down to 7 watchers. I guess we ought to do lunch.
Yeah, it's probably getting about that time.
¿Qué horas son es y media. 12 o'clock. 9 watchers now. 12 o'clock. Let's eat lunch. And after lunch, I'll spray that canopy area. There won't be much overspray, it's just a little spritz. 1280. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Sorry.
Thank you, Chris, for the $50 super chat. We'll be back after lunch, and we'll see you then. Keep building. See ya.
Back from our ornery